And there we are on YouTube. There we are on Twitch. Waiting to go live on Sportscaster as I wait for it. And hoping to go live any second. We're live on Sportscaster, waiting for the Twitch and YouTube chat to pop up. And there we go. Live on Sportscaster, live on Twitch right now. What's up, Luke? What's going on, everybody? Just get some of these settings fixed on my end. Make that look a little bit better, and cool. Yeah, so what is up, everybody? What's going on, Garrett? 6,800 for one of my top lanes with LNG and the JDG stack. Interesting. Live on YouTube. Yep, what's up, everybody? So, excuse the lighting in a different room right now, but I'm going to do something a little bit different right now. Going to go through, so I have my projections already loaded into here. Fantasy Cruncher. Just going to go through kind of some of the stuff that I like to make and work through and see how people, I guess, respond to that, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pull up, I have a stacks grading tool in terms of just A, B, a stack rankings. Sup, Sal? Nice work on the Osmo stream. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I appreciate that, Brian. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? So yeah, we're gonna build some mass 150s on here and see what happens. Still a lot of time to lock, but we have a pretty good idea on ownership. We have the lineups already that we need. Let me just pull up my esports rankings and we'll get the stack rankings up and get an idea of ownership. So what is up? What's going on? Had a line last night, 713, but only in a $1 double up. Damn, that's rough. Alrighty. So everybody, let me get this link right now out to the Discord chats. Let's go live on YouTube now. And we're going to go from there. So, is JDG actually chalky? JDG for me is picking up ownership. Yes, they're picking up a good amount of ownership. They also are okay, in my opinion, even with that ownership. It's nothing outrageous. It's a 3-game slate. You're going to get ownership to players. So I'm not too worried about JDD's ownership right now. I thought ES would be chalky. Yeah, I think so the problem with ES is they're a fine team to also get to. And it's actually interesting. They're the favorite now. That is not going to be seen as the favorite based on the ownership in DFS tonight. So you can kind of go there and say that, well, now ES is actually a more viable play. I think JDG's value makes them still a better play. But yes, ES is going to have a slightly, probably less ownership than JDG, which is pretty crazy since they're the favorite. So I like ES. Yeah, I think both sides look pretty decent. So I'll say this before we get into it, especially since most people are going to watch this on a replay. I do have a esports, a League of Legends course that is going to be free. It's a $30 value. It's $30 if you want to buy it, but it's free if you have the ability to sign up to Monkey Knife Fight. And upon your first deposit of $10, you'll get a $10 deposit match, and they'll let me know you signed up. They'll give me your email using the code SALFREE, SALFREE, SALFREE. There's a link down below in the description to learn more about the course and what's in it, but I'm going to continuously be adding stuff. There's a whole 40 minute section just about Fantasy Cruncher and just optimizers in general for this type of stuff, but let's start getting into it a little bit here. This is a new format. This is different. Unless this is just how it looks when you blow it up. It seems like a little bit of a redesign here. So let's see what happens here. Let's just go with, if we want to enter 150 lineups, let's just do this. Put some 75% on there. We got our rules in place already. We'll put some 4-3 stacks for now. Okay, we see some positions added here, so that's pretty cool. Some positions were also added in. So yeah, some things seem to have changed with Fantasy Cruncher, which is pretty cool. Sal, I'm just here because I haven't heard anything from you in a long while. I'm just a silent Hall of Famer, Evan Crowell says. You haven't heard anything from me in a while? What do you mean, man? I've been posting YouTube videos every single day. I've been posting stuff on Patreon 4 times a day. Hope all is well with you, from your friendly troll financial. What's going on, man? Yeah, no, all is well on my end. How do you leverage between the 3 contest types, cash, GPP, and multipliers? I would consider multipliers tournaments. I really don't play multipliers. So cash and GPP, how do you leverage? It's up to you. I'm not playing much cash in League of Legends personally. I think cash is slowly dying out in most formats in DFS in general, but I'm not playing in League of Legends. Let's see what we can do here. Move this a little bit. Alrighty. So, do we want to run some 4-3 stacks on a 3-game slate, especially when, or 3-match slate, especially when there's some teams that are slate favorites? Trying to run 3 and get all 3 wins right is a little bit more difficult. So, Based on, so let me get my stacks up here. I have Funplex Phoenix and JD Gaming as an insight behind the what's offered on Patreon as some pretty good options tonight, and so does the ownership. But based on just this slate, I think they look like stronger options in both cash and GPP. And then the rest of the teams in the slate are pretty much just guys that I'm going to get to, maybe not at a same clip. The only team that I'm not getting to much of is LNG at this point. So let's just play around with exposures a little bit at this point. What I want to do is I want to get into the captain spot here. And I'm just going to talk through what I'm doing tonight right now. And this is partially, I guess, what I'm doing. Let's get out. So the team's already out, I believe, right? I believe we already have our teams out of here, and that's all I want to do. So positions, the team slots. Let's get these all checked out. Why are we not getting the entire team here? What is being excluded? My pool. All right, better. There we go. Take out LNG. All right, we got all the teams out of this one now. Let's pull up the teams that we actually want to get to at this point. Filter our teams. We want everybody in there. Select all. There we go. Cool. So all the teams are filtered out of the captain spot. That's what I don't want teams in the captain spot at this point. It's a useless thing to be doing. Can you explain the 4-3 is optimal compared to why 4-3 is optimal compared to 3-3-1 and 3-2-2? It's just higher upside. When three teams win, if you get a 3-3-1 stack and you actually get all three teams right that win, way more times than not, a 4-man stack is going to be needed because you're just needing to correlate less throughout that lineup. You're most likely to get wins easier when you're only two teams. Yes, and 4-3 stacks are wildly popular now for good reason. So let's just go into here. Let's just run this through. I want to run it through first and see what we get, and then we'll obviously change some things with randomness and exposures and all of that. My projections. Let's crunch out 300 lineups. All right. So as I would probably expect, not getting much of LNG based on my projections at this point. You always stack max even in MLB. Yeah, MLB you can get a little bit different, but I agree. I don't know much about League of Legends and CS. Waiting to stack the Yankees or maybe try Overwatch if that comes. That's a video game I've seen played. Yeah, I like Overwatch. It's been played. It just hasn't come on. Do you blame RG and the other provider train lines for cash games decline? Austin Ward, I honestly have no idea what that means. I really don't know what that whole sentence means. I don't have the background, so I guess no. What do you think about the DMO and BLG game? Feels like it could go either way. Yeah, I think both teams look fine. I think they'll be similarly owned based on the crunches that I was running earlier. So yeah, I don't really have much of a lean in that game. I think the better team is honestly probably Dominus Esports as the slight underdog. But I don't really have much of a lean. I'm just going to get to a good amount of both sides of that. So this is without me really touching exposures yet, which is something that I will be doing and probably working on more throughout the night. And I get pretty much what I would expect here. A lot of Funplex Phoenix, the most owned by far for me, if I don't touch anything else. This is just me running my projections with normal stuff out. So this is probably what you can expect for the most part out of normal ownership. Around 40% for Funplex Phoenix. JD Gaming, probably going to be picking up similar, if not, I would assume, more ownership than E-Star. So I'm fine getting higher ownership on E-Star if the field's not going to be there on a favorite, just because they want to go to the sexy, cheaper underdog, which I think the underdog actually grades out pretty nicely. So you can see, this is if we're just running some 4-3 stacks. I'm going to play around with exposures. I'm going to play around with some randomness. When are you going to DraftKings NFL simulations? I do some for Osmo. I do them twice a week for Osmo. I just did one actually on Sportscaster, not for DraftKings though. But what do you mean? I actually have a call tomorrow with DraftKings, so wish me luck. Let's see how that one goes. Call tomorrow with DraftKings, first call with them, see what they say. Thanks for the info. I win a lot and I don't know crap about League of Legends, says Dano. Appreciate that. Yeah, so if you guys want to check out the League of Legends course that I made, there's a link down below if you want to learn more about it. So Dan just saying he doesn't know much. You don't really have to know much, but if you want to learn more, there's a link down below. I partnered up with Monkey Knife Fight, as you can see their logo up above, and you can get Monkey Knife Fight $10 of $10 entry onto Monkey Knife Fight. They'll give you $10, and also my course will be included in that, which is a $30 course. So you spend $10 and you get the course, and you get $20 to play on Monkey Knife Fight is how that breaks down. So you can check that out. That's linked up down below while you're playing now. You can ask me any questions or later. So these lineups are finishing crunching. I want to set some things up. In terms of the stacks specifically and some of the randomness stuff. So let's go up here. And let's show this by position yet again. Alrighty. Alright, so it's giving us 75% randomness overall, which makes sense. We changed everybody for that. I've been playing for 3 years, but I don't know a lot. But when I win as much or more than when I play NBA, NFL, yeah, it makes sense to me. So how often do you play? How often you League of Legends? You get a gaming laptop? Oh, no. I'm not actually playing this game. I've watched it way too much, though. How did NASCAR go yesterday for you? I played one lineup because, my God, I was not playing much more than that. And I think I actually was in the green. Let's check it out. Let's check out how it went. But for the people that are watching on the replay, let's start turning into some of these exposures. So we'll go for specific positions here. I want my randomness to be higher on the guys who have higher ceilings. So these 80 carries for the most part, right? I want the randomness to be much, much higher on the guys that have higher ceilings. So I can leave the randomness lower on most guys. And I guess the easiest way to probably do this is just to go into advanced settings. Let's just change everybody's randomness. And I'm trying to do this as a walkthrough. Let's change everybody's randomness to 50. And then the easiest way to do this for me will be to just go in here and take these guys and just bump them up. So I'm not going to show you one by one how to do this all. There's easier ways to do it, but I want to show you individually this way. But I want to bump up my AD carries, my mid laners, junglers. I want to bump up their randomness. What that means is a wider range of outcomes for them because they're going to hit those outcomes more often. A support player, a top laner, a team, jungler to an extent, they're not going to hit their top. They're not going to have that wide of a range of outcomes because they don't have as high of a ceiling, so you don't have to worry about their randomness being changed. But you don't want to limit the ceilings of your randomness on some of these other guys. You also don't want to give complete and crazy randomness to top laners and support players because then you're kind of capturing some 1% outcomes way too often. Like maybe you're crunching 150 lineups and you're getting top laners and support players hitting their ceilings 5 times the amount of times that they're actually going to, but you're getting that in your exposures. You don't want that. Yeah, so yesterday, eNASCAR, awful viewing experience and user experience if you're waiting so long and people are quitting. But let's check it out. eNASCAR, we threw in a whopping, is this it? Where is it? eNASCAR, we threw in a whopping one lineup and we won $20. Finished with 277 fantasy points, 1584 overall. Wild. Sound my man, just pulled up. Let's get this money. Let's go, man. Let's go. Do you always try to put an 80 carry in the captain spot? And what positions do you never play at captain? I never play team at captain, but I play everything else at captain. Yes, 80 carry and mid lane and jungler in that order will be the guys that I want the most of in my captain spot. So when you start to increase your exposures here in terms of randomness, you're going to get a lot more. You're going to get a lot more opportunity, I guess is the best way to say it, from your AD carry. You're going to get a lot more ceiling scores from them and things of that nature. 80% might be high, but I don't really care right now. So that's what you want to do there. There's a way to change it all at once. It's a little bit easier. Off work and got blessed with a live show from my boy. Yeah, I'm going to be live for, we'll do another 7 minutes or so, just to kind of show you how to set this up. So I changed the exposures. I'll leave them around 50. The teams I'll probably put down to around 30 whenever we get to the team spots. I'm curious as to where the rest of the team spots are. So I have this filtered by captain. I don't want any of the captains in there. We have this filtered to teams. We have all the teams selected here. Am I on the 2-game slate? Is that what's happening here? Let's go into our game filter. We're on the 3-game slate for tonight. Beautiful. We have all the teams selected. Okay, good. So over 300 lineups crunched. Sal, did Carol Baskin kill her husband? Yes or no? Probably, yeah. Off working got blessed, and her new husband is without question in on it. That man was a serial killer for the second I saw him. Alrighty, so obviously I haven't changed any team exposures yet. This is what we got out. In this cell, you can kind of sense a gauge for ownership. Not foolproof, but 250 lineups crunch. You can crunch even more if you want. You can crunch 1,000. Streaming right now while doing this is obviously slowing it down for me. Somebody else is streaming Netflix. So 39% Funplex Phoenix. Could feel pretty good that they're going to be 35 to 42% on, right? A 5% window or so, 35 to 40% on. JD Gaming at 20%, E-Star 20%. You can feel pretty good that they're going to be top 3 on. So this is how you get a gauge for ownership. Just put in basic rules, 4-3 stacks. Don't really change much. Put in a bunch of randomness and see what you end up getting. And this makes a lot of sense to me. Nobody wants to own LNG. I'm sure it'll be owned in, if I was to crunch out 1,000 lineups, like 3% of lineups or something. But this is making sense, if that makes sense. Epic, somebody says. Yeah, definitely. I'm liking my lineup, but LNG is the only team I can afford. Is it worth placing them, or should I just rework it? I'm probably going to rework it, but yeah, I mean, it depends on your risk tolerance. I personally think that they're going to be like 2% owned, so I don't think they're going to win, to be honest with you. Funplex Phoenix is a AA rating for me right now, and it shouldn't really shock anybody. I don't think you have to get cute and get away from it. Can you show a DMO captain stack? Yeah, I guess we can try and pull one up. I could let you know how many DMO captain spots I have. So I have a combination of 16 lines, 17 now out of these 300 that are crunching, so probably relatively difficult to try and find a DMO captain spot at this point, but let's see if we can scroll. Let's see if we can find any purple in here. We'll filter this so you can filter it by just your overall projection. So this is just how I start out building some of my lineups. It's very basic, right? These are the basic rules, and then I'll go in and I'll change up the randomness for that night. I'll change up my exposure to the stacks for that night. But let's see, somebody had a request for a DMO captain lineup. I sort this by my projection. These are my projections in here. We're going to have to probably scroll a lot. There's only like 18 out of these 300. But once we start to see purple in a captain spot. I faded SN and TSE stacks last night trying to get cute, and it killed me. Yeah, sometimes you just don't fade the good stacks to get cute, right? Like Funplex tonight. I mean, last night TES and Suning was like a 75% chance I saw to win as the main stack there. All right, we got to be starting to get to some sort of Dominus Esports stack at this point. All right, I think this is going to take forever. BLG plays a crazy style, usually ends in a lot of deaths and a good amount of kills. Yeah, I think it'll be an interesting game there. It's just like whichever way that one goes might actually have the ending effect, right? I really do think it's just going to end up being the winning stack. Funplex Phoenix, insert them, maybe not lock them in, but here we go. Here is your DMO stack that somebody just requested. Gala, makes sense, right? Gala in the captain spot, you get still the 3-man stack of Funplex Phoenix, and I like this actually. Gala, you marked out with a support. Mark is just terrible. Mark will be one of the last supports I want, but like that you get the mid lane, like the top is fine. 80 carry. So obviously there's one type of a lineup, spends 48,900. So this lineup right here, I would actually like, right? A 3-man stack of a team that's probably going to win with their defense or their team overall, and then a 4-man stack with less upside. Mark would be my main concern because Mark is just so bad. So maybe even going with this type of a stack with a one-off for Mark's spot and just trying to get a higher owned team there, a higher or a better player there because you have $1,100 left over. You can get really any of the other supports for $5,500 or below, but you're leaving $1,100 on the table, so that doesn't look terrible. If you want to play that, if 3 or 4 people are going to play that lineup now, that's probably not going to do good for you. But yeah, so these are just basic ways. These are the basic rules. If you want to go in and really learn more about it, the course touches on that, and then you can just play around with this stuff as well. Alrighty, so changing the actual team stack exposures, it's going to be night specific. If Mark can avoid his death upside, his averages is 70 plus. I mean, he averages 70 plus. I don't know what you mean, but he averages 70 plus if he could avoid his deaths upside. That's the thing though. Like he can't. Like if all these players in the slate don't die, yeah, the 80 carries are going to score 150 every night. That's the thing though. 9 times out of 10, the 4-2-1 stack on FanDuel is what takes first. You can't even do 4-3 on there. Yeah, they make you stack 3 teams. Thoughts on a 3-3-1 stack from the same game, switching it up the team spot? Yeah, I don't really run 3-3-1s personally. I try to. I still don't think they have that much upside. If you only had one lineup, who's the player or stack do you feel has to be in it? Funplex Phoenix. Funplex Phoenix. I think Funplex Phoenix is going to be in the winning lineup based on all the numbers that I'm running right now, and then play through that. I think the winning lineup is going to be, more times than not, if you run this slate out 1,000 times, which we can, we'll get it one time. Funplex Phoenix, insert the winner of E-Star plus JD Gaming. That seems pretty solid in my opinion. So yeah, now you just play around with some of your stuff here. So I don't really want, so they're not even on the slate, right? These 2 teams on the bottom. So I don't even want LNG. I mean, you don't have to fully take them out of your stacks because they're probably not going to pop up. So I'll leave them in there and I'll put LNG at like let's just call it a 10% top out. I'm fine not even putting a cap on Funplex and seeing what happens here. So let's put LNG at a 10% number, something small. I'm okay putting these guys at 50% apiece, and then I'm okay putting these guys at 40% apiece. And let's just see what we get there. So that's that. That's if we go with a 4-3 stacks. Obviously, you can change it to the 4-2 if you want. And then if you want to get through and you want to just change overall what you're doing with randomness. You can do that in this column. You can adjust the randomness overall for specific players, specific positions. I think that's a pretty good option to do. And let's run it out. So these lineups are not going to be the lineups that I actually run because I'm going to be changing randomness a good amount. Sal, on a 3-game slate, I've seen winners use the 3-3-1 method. I'm not usually a fan either, but I'm trying one tonight with E-Star and JD Gaming. We will see. It's 9 of 5. It's one of my 5 lineups. Yeah, I think that's fine. If you want to experiment, I think it's fine. 4-3 is just by far the best upside. 4-2-1 is then the best. Like the percentages of winning with a 3-3-1, if you see somebody do it once or twice in the past few weeks, that means it's a low percentage. Like it's very low percentage of actually winning it. It's obviously a chance to win it. It's a better chance to win it solo because they're not going to be as owned. So there is an argument to play it. But like if I know for a fact the best way to win is to get unique with 4-3 stacks, the second best way is to get unique with 4-2-1 stacks, which is already easier to get unique with. It's hard to get away from. Look at this. Based on my projections and some of the team exposure stuff, I am just going to be wildly owning this Funplex Phoenix team. And I saw on Twitter, Osimo posted a free projection. I think it was of Do and B. It might have been of LWX, but their ownership was like 50%. So yeah, these Funplex guys are going to be wildly owned. You're probably not going to get away from it, and you're probably just going to have to get different by either leaving money on the table or obviously your second stack being different. Like a JD Gaming, like this lineup right here. This lineup right here would be one that I really probably have no interest in playing, right? Maybe in cash. This lineup looks like a fantastic lineup. I don't know if there's this lineup is probably the best lineup you could build tonight. To be honest with you, this is the best lineup you could build tonight. It's going to be owned by 150 people. I'm not throwing that lineup into a 150 max GPP. This lineup right here is getting the trash can. Want to know why? Because 150 people are going to have that lineup, and that gives me no upside at all. Spending all the money, it has the 2 highest owned teams, and it has it built perfectly to where you have 2 AD carries, you have a very high scoring mid laner, a very high scoring support in top laner, and honestly probably the best top laner, maybe even on the slate when you factor in price point, definitely in my opinion. This lineup is fantastic, and I'm not going to own it in a GPP. It's getting the X out. Now, if it had $1,000 left on the table, yeah, I think a lot more people wouldn't own it then, but no shot. When this thing pops up as like my highest projected lineup, and I assume it will, let's see. Yup. Highest projected lineup, spending all the money. Every single person who runs an optimizer tonight with any half-decent rules is going to get this lineup right here. Don't play it. You want to play it in cash? Go ahead. Play it in cash. Hope that somebody else doesn't land on it. Tonight will be a fun slate. Can't get away from fun tonight. I agree. Yeah, it definitely will be a fun slate. Kennedy looks good in a probable loss. Yeah, Kennedy looks pretty solid for me as well. Projects that really well. So what does everybody else think about this, right? I think most people who play a good amount of League of Legends at this point know that this is the best lineup you could build based on my projections tonight. I would have zero interest in playing this in a large field GPP. You want to play this in a 15-person, 20-person contest, winner take all. Even there, it's probably not great, but yeah. So this is just adding in some team exposures. You can see I'm getting a ton of JD Gaming at this point. What are my stacks looking like? I'm going to be changing randomness per position. So that's going to change a little bit, but you can see my stack combos right now, 22%, almost a quarter of my stack combos are Funplex plus JD Gaming. It's going to be a lot of duplicated lineups. So I would recommend going through and just deleting lineups, like deleting them, unchecking them just for the purpose of this right now, and going from there. All right, if anybody has any questions, you can get them in right now. This is the process that I take, all the things I've gone through. The other stuff that I will do will just be individually changing players' exposures at that point, or randomness, at that point. And an easy way to do it, I'll show you before we change this, is to, when you upload your projections and your players, again, these are the players and projections that I uploaded. When you upload them, you just want to filter it by player position. And this is the easiest way to do it. If you want to get very into it, you want to give each player their own randomness, which you can probably do in different types of sports that aren't stack-based, like NBA, WNBA. Just change the randomness for the whole position here. And then you can filter it that way. So that's what I'm going to do after this. I'll change the randomness for the entire position. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. I just wanted to come on quickly live. Hopefully you all enjoyed that. What you're seeing on these exposures right now is not what's going to stay, unfortunately. I mean, you can take them, but probably not as optimal it gets with the randomness not accounted for. But thank you. I'm excited. If you like the NMF, Sal's Patreon helps you a lot. Sign up for both. Thank you, Devin. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you like Monday Night Football, check it out. Monday Night Football. If you like Monkey Knife Fight, check it out. There is a link down below to the course that I just launched today. I'm going to be adding more to it over the next few days, but you'll get all of that if you sign up now as well. And what happens, click the link. It takes you to this page. I might as well just show it. So before I head out, little self-promotion. It takes you to this page right here. Get this course for free. How to get it for free. Bang, bang, bang. Marketing in green. Catches your eye. All that stuff. I talk to you here about why you should do it. Use the promo code SALFREE. Click this link. Takes you to Monkey Knife Fight. You click sign up. And bang. It's as easy as that. It's as easy as that. You sign up. You click to sign up. And you're in. What you get there is then I will get prompted that you signed up via that promo code. You sign up via that promo code. You get the course. You get the $20 on Monkey Knife Fight. All right, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Loving Monkey Knife Fight. Thanks for hooking me up with the site. No problem, Joe Carr. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Thanks. We would appreciate you still doing LEC videos, even though their slates are smaller right now. Haha. Yeah, Christopher Jones or Joseph. I have everything on Patreon for the LEC stuff, but I just can't cover it. It's at 11 a.m. Like, the game started at 11 a.m. Me making a video for a 2-game slate with only 10,000 to first is going to get me like 400 views on YouTube. It's just not worth the hour to 2 of work for me personally. Crazy, no sports playing. What are you talking about? We got esports nonstop. Thank you for it. Means a lot. Smash like button. No problem, David Russell. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a great night, everybody. Peace out.